Hi everyone, welcome back to another Reddit cheating story. Before we start, please hit the subscribe button and notification bell if you love to watch more cheating stories. Want to learn how to get back your ex? Check the link in the description box to learn how. Affair initiation between wife and my BFM. First time posting here and looking for advice and unbiased views. Quite a long story, so I will try to be as brief as possible. January 2021, I was working away from home training for my new job and coming home at weekends. My wife started to watch a show on Netflix where some of the couples were indulging in threesomes. She said she found this a turn on and suggested that it should be something we could maybe try. Me, her and another female. I wasn't too keen on the idea but said I'd think about it. We never really discussed this in great detail as unfortunately she became poorly with depression and seizures from her epilepsy, so was spending time in and out of hospital. When she became better, we never raised the possibility of a threesome again until she mentioned that she'd spoken to her friend about sleeping with me and her watching. I thought this to be quite strange as my wife has always been quite the possessive and jealous type. She asked if I'd like to, and again I said I'd think about it. One night I came home from work and she told me she had sent a dick pic to her friend on Snapchat. I was quite surprised that she had done this and quite mortified and slightly embarrassed. The thing that got me thinking was that her friend asked if it was a picture of me. My wife told me this. As I thought more about what her friend had said, I started to wonder why she would query if it was me. I knew my wife was talking a lot on Snapchat with my best friend, as she would tell me. This started to make me feel really paranoid as I started to notice her presence there in the early hours and late at night. Not letting her phone out of her sight, which was unusual behavior for her. This continued for a number of months and she kept pushing at the possibility of me and her friend getting it on. I kept saying I didn't feel like it. She then said about maybe joining a swinging club or maybe exploring the possibility of having an open relationship. I just couldn't help but think that she was urging me to sleep with someone else so she could use it as an excuse to get with my friend. There has been a history between them from 2015 when I found out they were sharing intimate chat and some images. She insisted it was banter on her part and agreed that it would stop. We managed to rebuild a friendship with him and his wife a number of years later. Anyway, in October this year, my wife and her friend had a falling out over a trivial matter about them meeting up for a meal, and her friend wanted to bring another friend along. My wife got really upset at this and decided not to meet. My wife tried to rekindle their friendship and they got into an argument via WhatsApp whilst I was at work. I only knew of this when my wife sent me a number of messages pleading for me to call her when I got a chance. I thought this was an emergency, so called her back. All she wanted was to tell me about her argument and asked me to block her friend on all channels as she's worried that she may stir things up. A month later, in early November, my curiosity got the better of me and my gut instincts were telling me that I should talk to her friend. Basically, her friend confirmed what I was thinking. She told me that my wife only wanted to sleep with her so it could be used against me in the future so she could go with him, that when we've stayed over they've both been downstairs whilst me and his wife were still sleeping and touched each other. She said my wife didn't love me anymore and loved him and even spoke to him about whether they could work. He said no, but he would like to have a physical relationship, to which she apparently got excited about. I challenged my wife about how I was feeling, what her old friend had said and also how it looked. She denied it, but I'm struggling to believe her. We've not had much opportunity to discuss as this has brought her depression and seizures back. I'm not sure what to do. Thanks. Here are some of the best comments from our community. It sounds like she is lying to you. Y'all are another reason open marriages that weren't open in the beginning never works. I'm sorry, but you need to kick her to the curb. She gambled on someone else and lost, and you are her backup. Sorry. Well, my best guess would be to believe Thomas' old friend. The story all makes sense when you look at the behavior of the old friend. Your wife tried to push you to have sex with another woman. Asking for threesomes with another woman, swinging, watching you with another woman. It all really looks like it was to prepare for her to have the physical relation with your friend. To me it looks like she doesn't want you anymore. She even asked if your friend wanted to be with her. If he said yes, she would have filed for divorce. In this light, it would maybe best to continue her plan for divorce, because you now know she doesn't love you and would have left you if she had the chance. Take care. Seems like it's time to send a message to your friend and his wife in a group chat and ask what the hell is going on with him and your wife. Time to leave her and the friend. He wants her physically so he can take care of her physically. I read so many stories on here about a partner with health problems cheating on the one person that was there for them. Don't fall for her crap and walk, man. What does your best friend's wife say? You and other wife should get tested. It's quite likely they've already been together. Talk to a lawyer to protect yourself as much as possible. People don't go to such lengths to manipulate and lie just for the chance to be with someone else. Another cheating story. He was in another relationship all this time. So I met this guy in the college. We clicked immediately and started talking and hanging out. He made it very clear that he was single. So, after some time we hooked up and started seeing each other casually. We used to see each other once or twice a week. After a while, of course I fell in love with him and he told me that he loved me too, but we did not get into a relationship as he was not ready yet and continued seeing each other. After like 8 to 9 months of being with him I felt very stagnant and trapped in the situation. Nobody had any idea that anything was going on between us and he wanted me to keep this a secret and so I did. After a while, he started seeing this girl, who he told me was his ex. It bothered me a lot, but okay, I cannot do shit about it. I had no right to say anything. After 2 years of being with him, I got to know from a friend that this guy has been in a relationship since high school and he just broke up a month ago. So, the whole 2 years he was with me, he was in a relationship with someone else. Believe me, I was so fucking heartbroken. I know I have no right to do that, but he always told me how much he loved me and said that whenever he is ready for a relationship he will do it with me. I got a panic attack. I was shattered. I did not confront him with all this as I thought I had no right to since we were not in a relationship. I left him anyways. It's been 4 months now and he has been calling and texting like crazy. I cannot ever forgive him. He should have at least respected the friendship between us and he should have been honest with me. He has been so disturbing. One day he just came outside my house and started calling me. I want to really get rid of him, but I know I still have some strings attached and I still do care about him. Please tell me what to do and how can I just get rid of him, it's fucking me up. Here are some of the best comments from our community. Classic narcissist abuser. He knew he had you and could do whatever he wanted and you'd still be waiting for him whenever he was ready. What's happening now isn't proof of his love for you. It's his reaction at losing control over you. To him, the boundaries you set are meaningless because he's crossed them every time without consequence. Block him on every platform and call the cops if he shows up again. You were involved with a narcissist. If he was seeing you and her, he is seeing others. You were in a one-sided relationship, he was just using you unfortunately. If you look at all you contributed to the relationship and look at all the angst you received, you'll see what I'm saying is true. This guy mirrored your goodness to get what he wanted. It's not love you are feeling, it's the effect of the trauma bond you developed, that is the highs and lows of seeing him has generated chemicals in your brain that make you feel good and sad regularly. Best thing is to cut this guy off completely, don't believe a thing he says or does, go no contact, block his phone number and all social media. If he continues to harass you, call the police and tell them this guy continues to harass you in person and you are in fear of him. One thing narcs understand is the police are not going to take his shit. Look up on YouTube Lee Hammond, you'll see examples of how narcs manipulate you. That's what this guy who was using you was doing. Be strong and take time to love yourself, figure out what you value and keep your boundaries. Don't lower your values for anyone ever again, retain your power. That's a shitty situation and this guy is a shitty human being. You did everything right, and the moving on process is not linear. However, what I'm concerned about is that he won't leave you alone. Showing up to your place of residence is a huge red flag. And honestly, if it were me, I'd be afraid of this guy at this point because what's he gonna do next? Be sitting at your kitchen table when you walk in the door one evening? I would either text him, if you haven't already, and straight up tell him you know he had been in a relationship and cheating on his GF with you and that's not something you can forgive or tolerate in a partner. And or get a restraining order on him. Because what he's doing now is freaking scary, dude. It's been 4 months and he hasn't accepted that you're not coming back or going to talk to him. That's more than enough time to figure out that you don't want anything to do with him. Thank you for watching. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Remember to subscribe and hit the notification bell.